It's your host Varsha,
And
Oh, hi.
Megha.
and
Yeah,
welcome
hi.
back to another episode of RMV.
Hello.
Hi, hey everyone. Today we have Mr. Prajith Jaipal all the way from Kerala, India.
Yeah, and Mr. Prajith Jaipal is a Kerala-based disability rights activist and aims to become the first quadriplegic person to drive around the world. And he's also the founder of the organization called Maarga. And he also went to New Delhi and got a chance to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Yeah, and his plans for a world tour in 2020 and an international ability expo in Kerala in 2021 got postponed due to the pandemic. And once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we wanted to start off by talking a little bit about your journey. So you were in a car accident in 2011, I believe, which resulted in
Absolutely.
a
Yes,
in paralysis, neck down. And it was
absolutely.
really amazing to see how you worked so hard from then and you continue to live your life. And I wanted to ask, like, how did you motivate yourself to push forward, and what inspired you to not to give up through those hard times?
That's a good question, Megha. Well, over a period of time, I could tell you that since I've graduated, I've been working with sales and marketing. And as you know, a sales and marketing person never give up. Okay, so it's always a win-win module which we have. Always we'll have to win. We'll have to set targets. That's the way we go forward. So any sort of frustration which I had in those days, what I used to do is that I used to go for a ride with my friends outside my city always. So even I mean, coming to this accident, I should tell you it was on April 1st, 2011. And I was driving down from a place which is almost 100 kilometers away from my town. And unfortunately, I had a bad tire condition. And even though my parents had asked me several times to change the tires, it was not intentionally which I ignored, but see, due to my busy schedule, I couldn't fulfill or I couldn't make it happen. And it got extended like that. So I would every time when I meet someone in a Google Meet or in a program, I always urge that you always listen to your parents. Uh,
Definitely.
yeah, always, because see, they are always for your good. They whatever they think about you, when you go, when your children go out of your, when their children go out of their house, they'll be always concerned about their well-being, where their health, how they move around. They care about a lot. Okay, so we also have to respect in return. Every word of our parents matters. That's what. First of all, I would like to urge everybody to take it forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
and well, yes, and the same day it was, as you know, it was the April Fool Day, so nobody believed. Yeah, nobody believed that.
Oh,
As in,
wow.
yeah,
That
as
is.
in my as in my nature, I used to make a fun with my friends a lot. So one of my friend called up at early morning 1 o'clock, because that was the time which I met with the accident. So they thought that I would have slept off, but I never sleep on drive, which only I know myself. So it was just 1.5 kilometers away from my house that it was a tire burst which happened. So as I informed you earlier, the same bad condition of the tire reflected badly. So the car toppled, and I should say 3 times it toppled. But fortunately, I didn't lose my my consciousness. So I could hear people saying around that, as in this condition, there should be nobody inside the car. He would have been thrown away outside. So they were searching outside, but I could hear, but I couldn't speak out because I was upside down and I was totally compressed out here. So, and after 1 hour, they tried to lift up the car. And when they lifted up, my neck got released because it was totally compressed inside inside my seat. So, and there I made a sound. I said, I'm inside the car. And but I should really appreciate the trauma care team who lifted me outside the car, because they were very careful. Because normally what happens is that they just pull out of, see, in such situation, because they are not giving any sort of professional training or something like that. So I informed them, see, I don't have any sensation below my neck level, so please ensure that I've been taken out carefully. So they took me out carefully. And that was I came out of the car. I was taken to the hospital. I mean, to bring it in short, I should say 45. It was a very hectic situation, I should tell you. 45 days after my three operations, which was there for my head, my neck, and my hip. And after that, I was taken to another hospital in Madras, and I was there for 5 to 6 months. There, first, what happened was that the doctors informed me, first of all, that I am going to be a quadriplegic in future. So my physical condition is like, you may not be able to move around. You should be completely on a wheelchair. And you'll have to live a wheelchair life. And I asked them, see, am I going to be on wheelchair for the lifetime, or I can walk again? So they said, no, you will have to understand that you will be on wheelchair for lifetime. So I was not convinced on that. See, you can't say that you can't never say that I'll be on wheelchair, because every person's physical condition differs from person to person, and you'll have to always respect that. But see, again, doctors were never I mean, they were trying to convince me. They took me to a psychiatrist for yeah, 2 to 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
she was 87 years old. And what happened was that every 3 times she used to call me up, and we end up with a friendly talk. We never come to the topic. So finally she said, no, I can't convince Prajith. It's better that I speak with his parents. So my parents went there, and they had a talk with him, with the lady doctor. But again, I was not convinced. 5 years was very hectic for me. Every pain which I was having, every hard situations which I was having in the hospitals, I took it as a challenge. I took it positively, because one example I can quote you, that I was not able to sit because I never had any control below my leg. So whenever they tried to make me sit, I go for a blackout. My BP will go down below 30, and I'll go for a blackout. But when they lift my legs up, I'll come back after 4 to 5 seconds, after a very beautiful sleep, I should tell you, and totally fresh. So I will always feel like I should now go for a blackout. Make me sit. So doctors will say, this guy is mad. See, what is this?
Yeah.
So that was the I think that was my the attitude which I had in self. This was not something which I have educated myself, or I have brought in over a period of time. But and for therapy also, I always go for something which I can't do. I could see people, I mean, when the physiotherapists do some exercises for people, I'll say that I want to do that. So they'll say, see, Prajit, as in your physical condition, you can't do that. No, see, what is the problem in just giving a try? I always want to try something which I can't do. So when we go for that try, maybe I may not be able to achieve 100%, but definitely about 95% I'll try to achieve. So and that was something, again, I want to win always. You see, whatever we be the physical condition, I can't give up. I can't see, I don't want to see people, I don't want to see sympathetic eyes on me rather than empathy. So even after, I should say, for this 5 years of treatment, I came back home. There was no improvement as in my physical condition was, but I was not unhappy at all. I asked my mother to keep my mobile phone, because I was a mobile freak, so I was always tended to rely upon that. So she used to keep my phone very near me. I'll ask my mom to call up my friends daily, and I used to keep myself engaged. Not even 1 minute I'll waste. I'll keep always engaged from morning 9:30 or 10:30 in the morning. I'll keep my phone on. I can't type. I can't even lift the phone in my hands. So I just sleep to one side and work on the phone. And time passed like that. And I don't think I'm not making you bored, because
Definitely not. This is very
It's really
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah,
yeah,
I love
yeah.
the story.
Because I just don't want to just come on to a motivational speak, rather than I would like to say the entire story, so
Yeah,
that
no,
you
we weren't sure if
Yeah.
you're comfortable sharing or not, so we didn't like
yeah.
ask too much
Yeah.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I should say, one fine morning after 3 years of my injury, I should say it was on August 17th. I should say that I automatically turned myself to one side, and I was personally playing on my phone. 10 minutes after that, I came to know wonderfully that my hands are moving. I have been starting messaging of my own. I switched on my mobile phone. What happened to me? I called up my mother. I said, see, my hands are moving. So what she did is that she asked me, just try moving your legs. Just try to walk on. I tried to know, but what she did is that she slapped me on my whole body for almost 10 times just to give me a shock.
Did that help?
Yeah, and that was the first day of my movements below my neck and above my hip level. And that day I understood that I shouldn't stay back in the room anymore. So there I understood that that time I had very few friends, one or two, I should say, out of my thousands of friends which I had. And not thousands, you can cut off a zero of that. So of my friends, I could see very one of two who used to call me up. When they come down, they don't want to see Prajit seeing and lying in bed. Maybe for that reason, they never, or their visits came down. So I said, if at all I'm going to lie in the bed, I will be maybe on wall for in a few years. So I should not be like that. I don't want to be a picture like that. I want to live my life. I want to enjoy my life. And I started calling my friends. So they said, okay. When I started initiating to call my friends, they came down. When they came up, I asked them to lift me up to the drawing room. First day. So I sat in that drawing room for almost, there was no blackouts, nothing happened. I sat in that room for almost 10 hours. I had a catheter, everything was there, but I never mind. 2 days later, I said, Lee, see, why can't we go out? So they was wondering, see, Prajit, in this situation, how can we take you out? See, I said, what? See, if I'm okay, then why can't you? So they started taking me out. when it's like an ice breaking session, when we went out, they were like normal. See, if you can sit like this, we can go for tours, we can have the same life as we had before. So that was something I mean different, which I could notice then, and there I understood that this is the way that I will have to move forward. And then time passed like that. We went for marriages, we went for parties. In this situation, even I had something in, I mean, to go outside my town. We went, and I understood that this is the way. I can stay away from my parents. I can live independently of my own. I just tried exploring many things out of that, with my friends along with that. If at all something happened, I should have somebody to support. Obviously there was a caretaker as well. And time passed again. Now I had to fulfill my passions, which I have suppressed during my school days, or when I was working also. I had a passion of singing, learning music. I had a passion to of painting. I would like to learn painting professionally. So I called up one of there was a famous musician here. He passed away last month due to COVID. His name Kaidapram Damodaran Nambudiri's younger brother, Kaidapram Vishwanathan Nambudiri. He was the actual music composer for, if you know, as you are all Malayalis, this thing, Deshadana, many movies. He was actually the music composer, but nobody knew that he was the composer, because he didn't want to come in front of his brother, elder brother. So he always stood back. So he was my guru. So I started learning music. See, he asked whether I should come to your house. So I said, no, I will come to your house and we'll learn from there as a student. So every Thursday, I took my cousin Sunni. She was always there with me for support. He's still there. One of my, bestie, I should say, for everything that I am now. So he took me outside. Many people are there. I said, I just quoted one. So we started learning. After that, there itself there was a tutor to teach painting. He started teaching painting, and now again my wishes is it's not fulfilled. So next I wanted to again roam around independently. So we had a car at home which was automatic, but rarely used because nobody goes out. So I thought, why can't I just alter that car? Even though I don't have a proper grip, this is the total grip I have. I cannot move my fingers beyond that total grip I have. So both the fingers, but I should say for this hand it moves, just moves like that. So, but still, as I said earlier, I just want to give it a try. What will happen? Nothing will happen. So I went to the altar. He was the authorized altar. Again, he was on wheelchair since 18 years, but he used to do the alteration. But he will always think about the safety of his partner, right? Because I'm also on wheelchair, he's also on wheelchair. So he knows what all problems I should face in the car. So fulfilling all this safety measures, he asked me, so without a hand grip, how are you going to drive? I have altered almost 1,500 vehicles, but I have never given an altered vehicle to a quadriplegic. So I said, see, his name was Torapa Mustafa, just 100 meters away from my house. So I said, see, Mr. Mustafa, can you just sit aside? I'll sit onto your seat and I'll show you how I'm going to drive. So I just jumped onto his seat and then I started driving. I was surprised that I could drive as I was driving before. Maybe not that, perfectly, but still I could drive. Even every meters which I was going ahead, my confidence was building up, like just like booster. I was just boosting up. So there, what happened? Yes, he said, "This is amazing." I'll do is that I will ensure that uh, I will alter your car within 3 days. So he got my car altered, and the same day which I got the car altered, we went for a ride with my cousin, which I said earlier, uh, from at night 11 o'clock to almost 1 o'clock. So next day, what happened is that I asked my father just to, without anybody, I asked him to just make me help jump inside the car, and I took the car alone without nobody's assistance. So again, it was a dream come true for me, because wherever I feel like going out, I can go out without depending upon anybody. See, now again, I should say I have started being greedy more and more. I wanted to, now I wanted to again earn something in my pocket. I want to go back to my previous life, supporting my parents, my family, as I used to do before. So I started calling up my ex colleagues and companies, HR persons. So they asked me, Prajith, what sort of job can you do? So that was like a shock for me, bigger than what it has happened drastically in my life, because that question just hit me like this. So yeah, I asked them, see what job I was doing before, I can do now also. But I couldn't convince them. There I understood that the perception of the society for every disabled person is like, once they have any disability, the perception is like they can't do anything. They are just they are left to be like that. So I wanted to prove myself. So I wanted to show to the society that we are not somebody who are, or the persons who had unfortunately met with disability, or who are born with disability. That doesn't mean that they don't have any ability as such. They are not skilled by self. They have many things which they can do. So I thought I should go for a drive from uh, Calicut, which I had, that was one of my dream, to drive around India. And there I started. Prior to this, I had sent a mail to Prime Ministers 2 years back before this drive, just mentioning about some of the problems which people who are behind the walls is facing in India. So I never got I got a reply, as this has been forwarded to some department for further processes, and I never checked with that in later on. But after that, I what I did was that I took the same mail and I forwarded back to him that I am starting a drive awareness campaign from Calicut, Kerala, and I want to reach you at Calicut, and I'll be driving alone. I am a quadriplegic. I am taking so much of pressure and pain to come and reach you. And moreover that, I wanted to gift you something which I have painted and of my own. So I have also done a painting of Sudama and Sri Krishna. So the meeting of Sudama and Sri Krishna, symbolically, okay, because as you know, the story of Sudama and Sri Krishna, they were friends when they were small children, and they were supposed, and Sudama had to meet Sri Krishna after a long time, right? And he was big. He was asking his wife whether he can go and meet. No, actually his wife informed Sudama, why can't you go and meet your wealthiest friend Krishna, who is the king of Mathura? He'll change your life. So he said, I don't have that habit of asking some of my friends for help. but still you can say, what you can do is that you can just, you are friends, you don't have, the friends don't should not have a problem in asking help for each other. That is an ego which you have within yourself. So leave your ego, go ask your friend for support. So that's how Sudamas went to Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna fulfilled everything. So that is where I thought, see, I am in that situation. PM, where I have heard, is very friendly, very understanding. So he should be able to help communities or people who are behind the walls, and he should be able to understand our feeling. And I thought the beaten rice which Sudama gave Sri Krishna as a gift, I'll take the representation symbolically. So I did that painting as such, and we started on the same day on April 1st, which my mother said that you have to start on April 1st itself, wherein you had met with this accident. So I wanted to start on that day, same day itself. And everybody was asking that, see, Prajith, you can drive straight away from Calicut to Delhi to meet up the Prime Minister. It will take hardly 2,500 kilometers. And there were organizations like Rotary Club Calicut Beach and JCI Junior Chamber International, which I was also a member of, to support me in this journey. So I said, no, see, this is a chance for me. So I wanted to meet people just like me across India, understand what all problems are they facing, because I am just like a frog in the well. I don't know what is happening around for people. This is something which has happened to me, and I should understand the feel of others' feelings also. So I went zigzag, and it took almost 4,700 kilometers for me to reach Delhi on 23rd of April. 27th, I'm getting a reply from the ministers and members of parliaments that who had supported me, or and who had promised me to meet up with the PM, that PM has left India and the meeting has been cancelled. So I thought, no problem, I will try by myself to meet up with the PM. So everybody who had accompanied me to meet up with the PM left on 27th. So I thought, no, I will stay back. Even if whatever happened, I'll go and sit in front of the PM's house and I'll say that I wanted to meet my PM. I have drove out all the way from Calicut to meet up. So fortunately, what happened was that 30th of April, that 2018, we had 30. Okay, so 30th of April, we had a meeting or a felicitation at Kerala House, Delhi. And from there, I'm getting a call from PM's house that you have your appointment has been fixed. We have received your mail, and you will have to meet up on 2nd of May. So that was, what should I say? I don't know. Like, yeah, nobody's there for me. I am all alone with the caretaker and the car mechanic with me. So I asked two of my friends to just come along, because even PM should feel like this guy is like all alone, nobody is there to support him. So I called them up, and 2nd of May, 10 o'clock sharp, we could enter into his residence. And it was like, he called up my name and came to me, hugged me completely, and my caretaker started crying. He never
sweet.
That's what he never, because as in we never expect a PM like coming and hugging for somebody who he doesn't know. And he was like, as if exactly how Sri Krishna has felicitated the Sudama. He completely welcomed us, and he started asking me the entire story, how I'm going to brief. I'm briefing you, Megha and Yarsha, and that what happened to me, how's my family, who are all there in my family, everything he inquired. After that, he asked me, see, I have heard that you have bought a gift for me. Where is that? So I gave him the gift, and I told him, Modi ji, isme Sudhama main hoon aur aap Sri Krishna. That means here in this painting, symbolically, I have considered myself as Sudhama, the poor friend of you, and Sri Krishna as the wealthiest king. So he said humorously that, see, hey, Are Prajith ji, in Hindi, मैं तो सुदामा से भी दरिद्र हूँ, आप तो श्री कृष्ण है. That means I am poorer than, so my situation is pathetic than Sudama. You are Sri Krishna the king. In turn, actually, what he meant was that, for as in Sudama's case, everything, he should have been, his family was delighted, because what Sri Krishna done was that it was above his expectations, right? So he wanted to say that, don't think that everything which you have brought in as your representation may be fulfilled, but we will try. That's what he humorously meant. After that, he asked me, see, what is your plans and future? I said, see, I don't want people in India over this time which I have driven all over India. I could see that India is not what I have seen all about. It has gone far, far away. I mean, it has been developed in such a situation that it is above my expectation. So I should, because I have seen cases like, for every cases I mean, severe cases, we are going to US, we are going to Germany, we'll have to depend upon other countries for medicines. See, why not we as a country make it as a hub? And we provide this thing, I mean, facilities, and we have the, I mean, whatever best facilities as in medicines in India as an icon should move around the world. And let's have, see, for a wheelchair, which I'm sitting, it's costs around 18,000 rupees. For everybody in India, it may not be possible to buy such a wheelchair, which is completely dismantleable and weightless. So I want cases like, I want people who are sitting behind the walls, or those sitting in wheelchair, or those who are disabled, to have an independent life, to have a life which they want to live, or which they dream about. So, and the main situation is like, we don't have a proper ramp facility in India. The infrastructural part is not as we think. So everything has to be improved. So I want to again create an awareness. It's not for India. India should, somebody from India should take a initiative to show the world that, see, it's not like Vasudeva Kudumbakam. That's what in Sanskrit it says. It's all, the whole world is our family. It's not Indians. It's not Americans. It's not Australians. It's not like that. The whole world is a family. It's not, so it's humans all around, right? So let's help everybody. Let's India as an Bharat, as an icon, move around the world, show empathy to everybody. Show, let's be I mean, a leader. Let's show them. Let's guide the world. So I wanted to travel across the globe, create awareness within the public. And let us have an international ability expo in India, wherein I wanted to invite I mean, investors, professors across the globe. I mean, let the people who are young and who wanted to study outside go outside and study. Let everything improve. So situation should change. See, this is, as in my case, I am struggling a lot to get inside the car. So there are companies which have an automated or altered versions. Let the companies come up with people with disability, or cars for people with disabilities. Even some companies like Toyota is giving such facilities. It's not like that. Let's have a group discussions. So I thought, see, you have many things in mind. Why don't you go to US for a ability expo? Can you travel alone? I said, yes, I can travel. See, this situation, how can you travel? I said, yes, I've been traveling all alone. See, even before meeting you also, I've been traveling to visit multiple ability expos within India. So I used to travel alone in flight, and flights towards used to take care of me. So he said, okay, if you are so confident, you just travel. I'll make all the arrangements. Rather than me traveling to US, it's better that you see in your eyes. So on October 2nd, I had an opportunity to visit San Francisco, and in San Jose, there was a International Ability Expo wherein I represented India, and I was there in the US for almost 2 months. And the government had while stepping inside the flight, the flight stewards and flight air hostess was asking me, see, are you traveling alone? You don't have anybody with you? See, I said, why do I want to have somebody with me when you are there to help me out? So that took the confidence for them, and they took care of me very well, and my travel was very comfortable. And I had a caretaker appointed by the government in US, wherein I said, I don't want a caretaker, wherein my friend will take care of me. And there the governments could, they were actually planning to spend almost 12 lakhs, of Indian rupees for me. So I said, no. So they said, see, what are we going to do with this amount? Because the amount has been already approved. So I said, give me wheelchairs for that. I have hundreds of people who wanted wheelchairs. So in turn, they converted all this amount to wheelchairs, and they transferred it to India. So I could travel all around the US, and there after 2 months, I could in between my US time, I could meet up with many research scholars, even at the Christopher Reeve Foundation, wherein some chips were being developed, and the Rutgers University, many scientists as well. So this was like, we wanted to invite these scientists, research scholars to India for clinical researches and human trials. And also because there were some sort of, some obligations wherein we were Indians could not participate in human trials which were conducted in the US. And nowadays our government has been flexible, that our race is also been included in the human trials, which was one of the result of my travel to US. So Wai Seong and Professor Yamanaka, who's doing a stem cells research, had conducted almost human trial in almost 2,000 patients in India in 2019. So that was one outcome of my visit. And after that, the world tour, I had also planned for a drive around the world, covering 80 countries, 1 lakh kilometers in 400 days. That is something which is pending now. After the pandemic, let's keep our fingers crossed.
Wow.
So yeah, even everything was okay. The car, I was sponsored a 7-seater car by Tata Motors. Everything was set, but it was on again on 2020 April 1st that we were planning to start this journey, but the lockdown happened on 26th of March. So let's hope for the best. I'll come and meet you there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, actually, I actually live in San Jose, California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I live in San Jose, so you came really close to my city. Yeah.
I was staying in Hayward.
Okay, yeah, we know that. Yeah, your story was really incredible to hear. Like, it was, I think, like, what amazed me the most is how much positivity you have. Like, that just really amazed me. It was so inspiring to see, like, wow, like you were like, I'll never give up. I'll always push forward no matter what happens to me. I'll push forward, I'll get to this. Like, it's so much positivity. And I was like, that's amazing, because you need to have that if you want to come over.
Absolutely. You should see whenever see, I should say, everybody will ask me, Prajith, or I have a nickname Jay. So some ask me, Jay, why, how do you build up this confidence? See, I'll say always that, see, I am in heaven, I should say. I have seen worst to worst situation in my life. I have gone down to the earth level, I should say. There are many people living in bitter conditions that I can't even uh, think about or dream about. I have a family now, I have a house to live in, I have my friends, I have a car to drive out, I have everything by the grace of God. But see, there are situations, there are bitter bits. In thinking about that, my confidence, I boost up my confidence. So I always think in that level. That is one main situation which I could gain strength. If at all I feel something down for myself, I go out, I meet up somebody who is in bitter situation, that what I'm there. So after meeting them, after having a conversation with them, I become happy. I come back. So coming back to my topic, and after that we started the Divyang Foundation Trust for us. That is for the upliftment for the disabled people across the globe. It is not for India alone. So we will help people across the globe. So after that, we could always, it is my family and friends in that trust as trustees. So this is the third year. We are completing third year this April 1st of the launch of that trust. And we could reach to many, as you know, that we had a very bad flood in India for the last 2-3 years. So in that situation, my eyes was on for people who are sitting in wheelchair and who are disabled, who are stuck behind the walls during this pandemic and flood situations. So I went for mostly ladies and children, not for men. So because what I came to know was that one of my friend who was there in wheelchair, she called me and said that, bro, my house is sunk in the flood, and I have to move out to this shelter home. So there the situation is like everybody is staying together. I can't, my situation is like I can't go to a washroom alone. Nobody is there. My wheelchair won't go out. So do you have a facility wherein people like us can shelter ourselves in such situations? So when I inquired to the government and all, there was not even one shelter home in Kerala. So which we are planning to build up. Now I think 2-3 has come up with even the IPM, some palliative care has built up some. I have even brought this in public medias also, that this is the situation. So I wanted to go helping girls and women and children who are suffering during this flood. So we could reach to many. And after that, I thought, see, one of the main confidence, I'm there in a couple of groups, disability groups, and there I could see people asking for money for recharges. So what I asked them is that he's a paraplegic, not a quadriplegic like me. He's much more healthier. He's much more capable than what I am. So I called him up. I asked him, why are you begging for money in the group? What is your situation? So he said, see, I have climbed in the tree for plucking up mangoes for making pickles for a film star. And I happened to, it happened that I met with an accident from the tree, and I had a spinal injury. I'm a paraplegic. I said, you can move your hands, fingers, everything. Can you hold something? He said, I'm perfectly all right. I have a problem in walking alone. I don't have anything. So I said, why don't you make a use of your accident? You make some 20 jars of pickles for me, and I'll make sure that I distribute it with my friends, and I'll get you the money for recharge. So I did that. And unfortunately, maybe for a couple of months he was continuing, but nowadays I came to know he's not doing that. So I thought that there are people, there are many like that, and the only confidence which I can build, I mean, among people who are differently abled or disabled, whatever you call up, behind the walls to come out, is that they need money in their pocket of their own. They need to have something, and it's not like you should contribute or you should donate something, and you should educate a habit of spoon feeding, so that which will obviously feel like you will get spoon feeded, and you'll be relaxed, and you'll always make use of that. So I never wanted to do that. I wanted people to work something, make use of their whatever abilities which they have, and earn something of their own. Maybe 1,000 rupees is enough. $10 is enough for recharging and whatever it may be. And that's how I thought of starting a retail outlet for myself, which is again 10 kilometers away from home. There, the company was asking me for telecallers. So I thought, why can't people sitting in wheelchair who is having a mobile do the telecalling? So I urged almost 10 people sitting in wheelchair to do telecalling on a work from home basis, and I could earn them 3,000 rupees from whatever which I'm getting as profit. I used to give them 50% of my profit, but that didn't work out well, because most of the people just retrieved from that, because after I was happy retrieving from this, because it was there, they understood they have the capability, and I was utilizing them. Okay. So I wanted them to understand their ability, and they should demand for their ability to others. I should not be given 3,000 rupees for what I am working for you. I should be given minimum 10,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees for what I should work. I wanted them to move out, and they are working somewhere else with a better salary now, which I am happy for. And I thought, see, professionally, I should start something wherein I could earn something, as well as I could give jobs for people who are differently able. That was where I started that the firm Maarga, Maargaa. You can just Google and see www.maargaa, Maarga.com. It's Maarga, as in Sanskrit, is the way. We show a way for people who are behind the walls. That is the word Maarga.
Oh, okay. And we were wondering what that meant.
Yeah. So yeah, and now it's functioning fine. Not much we could employ. I thought I will not employ anybody on a commission basis. I will employ people. I have one of my cousin also working along with me, and we will speak to the employer, and we will play the role of an mediator. Because there are some psychological issues in between them, because the expectation of the employer from the employee would be different, and the expectation of the employee from the employer would be different. So we play a role as a mediator in between, make them understand that this is the expectation from them. Will you be able to do that? We make the employer understand that this is his physical situation. You should understand that the work should be, timings should be flexible. You should not give him any targets as such. But your work, this thing, you can schedule something for a day. You can do everything. You ensure that whatever you are expecting from that employer, and whatever you are giving to that employee is met without without giving him putting him in a pressurized situation. So we are employing as in an average of 4 people a month nowadays, and unfortunately we have very limited people who speaks English well in Kerala. That was one situation. So there are, if you ask me, 60% of the people who are injured or who are disabled is undergraduate. So I'll have to think about, I'm planning to start something, because most of them are skilled in such a way, they are good in handcrafts, they are good in something else rather than working. So I thought we'll start something, a platform wherein they can sell their products. Somebody should go and pick up the products from them, as in we sell in Amazon and Flipkart. So that is going on. That is something which is going on now. I think I've taken so much of time of yours. I would appreciate if you can just shoot me some questions from your end.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was very interesting to hear your story, and like all the topics we wanted to cover, you basically like
covered everything.
Covered everything.
Because we were gonna ask questions related to that.
Yeah, and
but still. But definitely, because I wanted to cover a couple of things which you will be having. But again, I'm sure that you will be having many things which I have missed from my end. So please.
Yeah. So then we can talk a little bit about. We actually had a question about your touring, when you were touring all around India. We wanted to ask, like, what was your favorite place you traveled to?
Favorite place which I have traveled to was Mount Abu. That was Mount Abu. That's in Rajasthan. I had that's a hill station. I had my first cousin also staying there. Her husband is a group commander for Air Force also there. So I had a very good stay, and the peculiarity which I have seen is that there is only 4 hairpins to that hill station, and you can see multiple varieties of monkeys. That was, I've seen.
That's cool.
That's what I thought. On the way, I could see some Hanuman temples. So I thought, why this hairpins is always having Hanuman temples? So, and somewhere when I stopped, I could see beautiful flowers in a tree and something like a fruit, small fruit. And I stopped the car and I was watching this place, and I could see that one fruit jumping from one tree to other tree. It was small monkey, just for the size of a ball, very small.
Oh, wow.
So I went to my sister and I said that, see, this is something I have seen. So they took me to other places and they show this is some peculiarity of this Mount Abu, that you have many species of monkeys here, which the world doesn't know. So and one speciality which I have, one situation which I have faced from there is that on the drive, see, Rajasthan, as you know, you don't find many I mean cool bars or something wherein you can buy water. So you took water in within.
So yeah, I just took water. I was like, oh, you mentioned water, I took water.
So and what happened was that there I could see we were thirsty. Whatever water which we had for all 3 of us got exhausted, and we were thirsty. We wanted water. We couldn't find any houses all around, and on the drive we could see one big banyan tree, very big banyan tree. Maybe that would have been miles away from there, 3 or 4 miles, but the road was very straight. And beneath that banyan tree, when we went, it was a very small village town, and there was a lady sitting. I wish I could have shared that pictures also with you. So because as time limitations, so there was a lady sitting I mean beneath that tree, and she had a mud pot and full of water, and she keeps the water cold, I mean wetting the mud beneath the pot. You understand? So, and yeah, and she will never allow anybody other than her family to touch that pot. Nobody should touch. That's one condition, and she gives this water free. And when my my caretaker and the car mechanic went outside and took water, she asked them why he is not coming to drink water. So they said he's not well, he can't walk. So she asked why, what happened, and why, how is he driving? They said this is the situation, this is what we are doing. So what she does is she as a something like a motherly feeling, she came out, she took water in her hands and she came very near to me, and she was trying to feed me. So I said no, I'll try water of my own and I'll drink. And I drank, and she said, no, 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 you should not finish off with one glass. You should minimum drink 3 glasses of water. I can't. I said, one glass was enough. It was like a small well itself, the whole glass. So, but she ensured that I'm drinking 3 glasses of water. And I said, what do you take in return? So she said, no, no, we don't take anything in return, but we ensured that we gave some token of love to her. And from while leaving, she gave us 3 toffees, which was locally made. She bought it from there, from the money which we gave, and she gave us 3 toffees. That was something different, different experience which I had on the Mount Abu visit, apart from the place specifically which you asked for.
Yeah, you can send the pictures. Like, I'll tell Megha to edit it in the episode.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll do that. Just send me.
Yeah, that's such a sweet story. Oh my God, I think that was so nice hearing about that. I think we also had another questions talking about your journey. So so you were driving in this modified vehicle. So like, what did you have any other like difficulties going through, like, delays, unexpected,
Nothing.
incidents like weather or
anything
like that?
Or anything, nothing.
Yeah.
That was the one major thing which most of the friends and family, I should say, other than my mother, nobody was supporting me for this drive. Some of my friends was there. Wow. In my family, even my sister or my mother's family, nobody was supporting me for this drive, because maybe they were concerned about my health. What is this guy doing? Because they don't know actually what is my physical condition. It's all of my mental strength that I am moving out. So and the vehicle was Maruti Celerio. So it was not a very strong vehicle. So they said this car will fly off when a big truck of Punjab moves very close to your vehicle. So I said, it's okay. But fortunately, I should say, nothing happened. Nothing happened. And I recommended this vehicle to many, because it was not always the driver, the co-driver and the passenger was also having the same feeling which I was. I never felt any tiredness. I never had any. But yes, if you ask me, there were one situation, because on the drive, there was an ex-superintendent of police, Mr. Pradeep Kumar in Calicut. He was the controller of GPS. They had a control room, and they were monitoring the drive from Calicut. He will monitor for till 11:30 every day. I was supposed to stop the drive by 12, maximum up to 6, not more than that. So he'll start scolding me and shouting at me that you'll have to stop it. So it was from while I was traveling from Agra to Lucknow. It was almost 368 kilometers in one stretch. It was a big road wherein the chief minister had landed a MiG on the road, just to show the quality of the road. And I could reach there in 3.5 hours. That means 1 kilometer in 1 minute. That was on an average of 120 kilometers per hour. So that was the speed which I was taking. And while driving, they asked me to put the car aside. There was a mud storm, or what do you call that?
Mud storm,
like
the slippery.
Sandstorm.
Sandstorm.
Sandstorm. Yes, there was a sandstorm. Passing by. So they asked me to park the vehicle aside, and 10 minutes later, I could see the sandstorm crossing me. That was the only situation, but nothing. There was no difficulty which I have faced for this all 63 days, and I have never allowed my car mechanic to touch the steering of my vehicle, because
Wow.
I will not allow, because I don't know what people say about that, because when other people drive the car, I feel unsafe, or I don't feel confident as if I am driving. So I feel that they are not that experienced as I am. That is the confidence which I had in driving, and I should say, I had never met with any accident in my life other than this major thing which I had. I never, even after driving since 2017, I never had a scratch on my hair, even though I drive. So I feel that I drive safely rather than others drive.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask, like, how did you feel like going first time back into a car? Was that like, obviously, like, did you feel scared and nervous to be back inside, a vehicle after the incident?
Good question. I should say that I was so happy. I never felt like that, because, as you see, my habitat is like, I always live a normal life. I never feel like I'm sitting in wheelchair. To move around, I use my wheelchair. That's it. So stepping inside the car was like a normal thing for me. The thing was that it is not the way I think that. How difficult it is for me to step inside. I only think about how can I step inside. I somehow I wanted to step inside the car and drive. So I never think about what all problems which I face. I mean, to fulfill my dream. That's what.
Wow, yeah, it must have been fun too, like, because it's like all India trip, like driving. It must have been really fun as well.
Exactly. It was very
Yes.
fun. I should
Yeah,
tell
go
you,
ahead.
it was very fun. The only thing was that places like Rajasthan, which I wanted. I have been to Rajasthan once, Kota, the place of Rani Padmini, and Chittorgarh. I have been there, but in my drive also I have been there. But I wanted to say, because that was all in 2003 for my when we were building our house. I went to take marble from there. So after, I should say, maybe almost 15 years. It is not the eyes which we have seen in those days, right? Our eyes would be different. Whatever we see, we understand would be different. So I wanted to roam around, but unfortunately, most of the places were not wheelchair friendly. So never wanted my partners along with me to have a problem, because they were is accompanying me. So those things I missed. But yes, I wanted to drive alone. I mean, with somebody else other than this thing, without any, just not for any campaign or something. There are many places which I wanted to visit. I have never touched the northeast side of this place, India. So northeast is beautiful. Northeast is a beautiful place.
Yeah, there's so many places in India that I also want to travel to. Like, it's like really pretty. Like on TV, I see like those travel vlogs and stuff. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
It's beautiful, Varsha. The thing is that it's only when you travel you understand what is the culture all about. Because otherwise, I always say, for people, see, last time I was invited for a program. It was for the inauguration of Ayodhya temple, the stone laying function, and we had a remembrance ceremony here, wherein I was also invited. But there, I see, that is nothing related to me. But what I could do is that I always say, there I said to the people that, see, don't see Ayodhya in TV. It is just 24 hours journey for you. Just take a ticket, travel to Ayodhya, and see what is happening there. It is nothing. You always travel to Guruvayur, you always travel to some temples nearby, you only see things like that. You travel outside Kerala, you travel and you understand the culture outside. You think that people in Kerala are the best in India. You think that I mean, what you call the service that you deliver to the people when you have visitors, you say, as is called, as in Malayalam, you say Aditya Maryada, right? So that is best in Kerala. No, it is not like that. You travel outside, you see, understand. This Santosh George Kulagara said he was traveling to what he said. In Kazakhstan, there was a place wherein he traveled. So the same topic which I was talking about. He traveled and he said that there he asked somebody for some food in a restaurant, and the restaurant person said, see, the food has been closed, we don't have any food. And one lady who came to a restaurant for some work, she took this guy Santosh George Kulagara to her house, and she served him so well that he was so delighted. She grabbed his hands. That's what somebody who she doesn't know. And what he did was that he had a basket full of fruits with him. So he gave that fruits to this lady. And amazingly, what happened was that when he came back to his car, he could find that there was 2 baskets of the local fruits which this lady had put inside his vehicle. So, and that made he asked them, why did you do that? So she said, see, that was your culture to give me, your Indian culture to give us something for as a gift, and this is our culture to gift back the double which you get from your guest. So this is like, see, you travel outside India and you see the culture of other natives across the kind of, see, when you I've seen, I would suggest that you should travel to Gujarat and see, there was a well, 14-step well, Rani Ki Kuwa, it's said. It was actually completely demolished by one of the Mughal kings, and later on some people, children who were playing cricket, found out something is beneath the ground, and they found some wall or something like that, and they started digging it. They found it was a 14-feet well, and every floor had almost 40 rooms. And this is something amazing, and this is something I should say much better than Taj Mahal. I should say there are many things, many temples, many historic places which you would see, because it's all this people who just project something. This is the only thing that we have in India. There are many things which you can find, many things. Thousands of years old.
Yeah, that's amazing how, like, I think traveling is something what Varsha and I want to do more often. Like, we've been we live in the US, so like we want to travel. I want to travel all around the world more often. I think Varsha, you want to do too. So I guess, yeah, definitely one of our things on the bucket list. After we go to college and stuff like that, we want to travel more.
Yes, this life is not enough to see something which is there in India itself. That's what. This life is not enough. So you'll have to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, explore things in life. Explore many things in life. The eyes which has been given to us is only to see the beauty of this world, because there is nothing that you have. Because I was actually a soft skills trainer when I was working with Reliance, and every time I used to say that grab opportunities, and it will never come back in your life. And there was a story wherein when a person, I'll take some more time of yours. There was a story wherein a person who who had praying to God for such a long time, and the God appeared before him, and he asked, "What is the boon which you want?" And he said, "There is a flood coming in, and I want the God to rescue me." So he said, "Okay, tadastu, your boon has been granted." So yes, the flood came. The entire village was underwater, and his family went outside, and there was a big boat which was built by the village people, and their family got invited. This guy is mad, and he is waiting for the God to come. And what happened was that the boat went near to him, and I told him that we have one more space inside this boat for you to get your life back. He said, "You go away, I'll have the God coming to rescue me." He waited for the God, and after that he could see one boat, I mean a manless boat, which was which passed very close to him. He pushed it away, and after that he got a plank also, which was floating close to him, which could have saved his life. After that, what happened was that, fortunately, not unfortunately, he lost his life, and he went up, and before he was stepping to the heaven or hell, there was a person, Chitragupta. He asked, "Where do you want to go?" So he said, "See, I want the person who had promised me who will, and said that he will save me when the flood comes." So yes, he called up the God, and he asked him, "See, who gave you the last chance to get inside the boat? Who gave you the manless boat? Who gave you the plank?" So he said, "See, yes, I understood." So he asked God, "What is that which I have of my own? Do I have my soul for my own?" He said, "No, that is mine." And he asked, "Then what is that which I have?" He said, "I have given you some time to live in that beautiful world. You should explore it. You should not go behind money. You should not go behind sorrows. You should not go behind that. You live your life for today. That is why it is called present, right?"
Live in the present. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what.
exactly.
Yeah, present. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
the word present comes from. That's why it's
Yeah.
been gifted.
Yeah, that was a great way to put it. Thank you, Mr. Prajith, for those
Yeah,
words.
that was a good way to put it.
Yeah, so like you also mentioned how you gave a painting to Mr. Narendra Modi, like the Prime Minister of India, like the painting of Krishna and Sudama, right? So like how long have you been doing art? And like I've also seen the mural, so it's like really beautiful. Like it's so
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing it? Yeah.
I mean, that painting, that
Just
painting.
in general, like art, like.
Okay, as an art, I should say that I have not learned this painting or pencil sketch, but wherever I see, even for music, if you ask me, I loved it, but my parents didn't allow me to do that because that could affect my studies. So I still remember when I was in 7th standard, my music teacher was taking class for students outside in the playground. I mean, there was a space, big trees, and shadowy spaces, and he was taking class for music. And what I did was that from in the drill period, I used to go and listen to that. I mean, music which he had been, I mean, teaching them, and I still remember that. Kirtana, which, or what you said, that ragam, which he taught to the children that day. I still remember that. It was Varavina Mrutupani. I still remember that. Nobody taught me this ragams and all. But that was my, I mean, love for music and painting, which I had. So this thing which you really love from your heart, that will definitely be there for your lifetime. You don't want to be everybody may not be a big because as you I'll tell you, I'm not good in studies. I'm an average guy. because not yeah, average guy, 50-60%. That was my I mean normal academic studies. Even though I have completed my MBA, I don't know how I jumped into it, but but I should say I was very good in extracurricular activities like singing, music, dramas, this thing, one act plays, many things. I was a champion from school and colleges and all. So for as in case of students, I always, when I meet students, I will say that the parents should never underestimate, they should never compare students with others, because one or the other way they will have some skills. Even now I should tell you, whenever I take, people will ask me, see, Prajith is doing so and so activities, he would have been he is a scholar by mind, he is reading so much of books. But actually I read book, but only I read books which I love. I should say in my life I have read only less than 10 books completely. I go all around the books, but I cannot concentrate. My mind will start running to something else. But if at all there is something, some clips of some traveling or movies or something like that, I'll go behind that. So see, parents should be like, they should find the skills out of their children, and rather than, yes, academic qualifications can be acquired from the skills which they have. You know, if they are good in music, let them be, I mean, take a graduation in music, let them be a star in music. That's what, see, even our PM is also looking for that, just like what is happening in Switzerland and Norway. So that is what I personally feel, and I love.
Yeah, I totally agree with you that I think something we all should follow our passions. I think
Yes.
that's like definitely as like a career. Like I think we both are right now exploring what our passions are. We're going into college, so we're trying to figure out what we're passionate about. So definitely that's one thing we always tell everyone, to follow your passions.
That's what exactly I agree with that, Mega, because you know something, we think about many things in between. We always suppress many things which we love for. We compromise on many things. There are things which I mean, we think about people all around us. They are watching us. We think about money. We think about I mean, many things, many obligations. But actually, what happens is that when you step forward for something which you love, you understand that the other things which you feel that is an obligation for you is not at all an obligation. It will the everything which you wish will follow you. That's what I have experienced.
Yeah, I really liked how the way you put that. Like, yeah, like I think that's like really important to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I think this is pretty much what all we have to cover. Did you have anything else you wanted to add on?
No, I wanted you to ask me something about my family, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and see, to tell you some about that, I stay in Calicut, India, and I have my parents, and I have a younger sister married and settled in Bangalore. She has two girls. For us, we have less number of girls in our family, so she has contributed two for us. And the elder one is 11 and younger is 8, Nandana and Nainika. And the most supportive person and for me in my life is whatever I mean, which I have a problem with my vertebrae and the spinal cord. That is my mother. And that I have understood that, see, it is not always, because normally she is an introvert person. She never comes in front of anybody. She never speaks to anybody. She is not confident for anything. But when it happens to her kid, it was something, there were many situations which I have faced, seen that I am a 65 weighed person, a kilo weighed person. And once it happened that I had to slip from, I didn't fall, but I slipped from my bed it's an old bed, so antique models, and I slipped from there, and it was not possible for a normal person to lift me up back to the bed, but she did it. When she did it, I asked her, how could you make it? So she said, see, I don't know. It is not human, like humans do that. Even if you can see that this happens with animals also. If something happens to their kid, it is above what they have. So that is all about, and she is continuing doing that morally and physically. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very nice to hear about how your mom was like your role model for you,
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
very important for you. And I think that's very, yeah, very inspiring, I think, too.
Thank you.
And before ending, we always do this one thing. Can you give one piece of advice to our listeners? Anything, one piece of advice to anyone who's listening?
See, I see, rather than the whole conversation which we had, I would urge everybody to pick points out of it, rather than, I mean, giving one point of advice that you should do that, you should do this. But I always urge from my personal experience that never give up, never give up in life. And that's all you can just Google and find out. Yes, you can find beautiful words out of it.
Yeah,
But yes,
yeah.
but I'm saying out of the personal, and you should consider my voice modulation also, that never give up in your life, and always give a try for anything which you feel that you can't. Just giving a try will give you some results. It's because every people in the world just go down for simple problems. They find themselves down when their partner gets bigger good marks rather than them. And if it's for kids, and we are concerned about our neighbors, what they bought a new car, they have their house is bigger than us, and their husband or wife is having a better job than us. This is nothing. Tomorrow you think about something, you have been transferred to somewhere in a place that there is no neighbors for you, you are all alone. What will happen? Because for you, actually it's only you in life. There is nobody else. If there is a pain, it's only you will have to suffer. If there is something blissful, you are fortunate to I mean, enjoy that. So I'm not saying that you should be selfish in life. Do everything which you feel, which you feel that you can bring happiness for you, which you feel that this is good for me, this is good for my society. Don't do anything for the sake of showing somebody else, showing for the society. It can be a pencil, it can be a one glass of Coca-Cola, which you can give somebody or share something. So build up relationship, keep up the relationship with within your family and friends. Spend some time, have some food with them, invite for dinner sometime. This small moments is what has been gifted in our life. That is how we feel happy, because tomorrow if there is a situation that we are isolated, these are the things which we can I mean, which is there for us to remember. There is nothing other than. Otherwise what happens is that every day morning we pack up, we brush up, we dress, we perfume ourselves, we go to the office, we come back, as in for schools we do the daily activities, but nothing other than that. So do something which you feel something is graceful for you, and bring happiness for us.
Yeah, I
definitely.
totally agree with whatever you said. And the never giving up, I think that gave us both a whole new meaning after hearing your story. And then, like, we understand, okay, you should never give up, because, like, we can see, like, there are benefits. Like, even if it's the hardest, always try your best and go through. And I think that was really good advice. Varsha, you can go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, I think never give up is like a really good motto to follow throughout your life. And as you said, Mr. Prajit, like, life is short and you should, you know, enjoy every single moment and like spend time with them, because like you never know like when it's too late. Because sometimes like I've seen movies and heard stories about like I didn't get to meet my grandparents that one day. Like if I could only spend that just maybe a few minutes time before like they passed away and like they feel bad. So I feel like life is like that, and it's short and you should savor each and every moment.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, thank you so much, Mr. Prajit, for joining. I honestly was really speechless throughout the entire conversation, and yeah, it was really inspiring to hear your story. Like going from it all started from like car crash, and look where you're now. Like you're really successful, and the amazing human being you are.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to me.
Yeah, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate you coming on. I know we took a lot of your time today, but like we...
No. The thing is that I am so happy that I could spend so much of time with you. And it's not so much, actually speaking, if you ask me, see, I get demotivated when I don't speak to somebody else or I don't see somebody else in a day. So I want somebody to speak up always. And if I get motivated if I speak to somebody, if I get demotivated if I don't see someone in a day. So I always like to spend enough and more time for for anything which I love.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. There's a really great episode to learn more about your story. So thank you once again.
Thank you so
much. and make sure to check in the link in the bio for more about his organization called Maarga, right? It's Maarga?
Yeah, we will link everything down below, so please go check that out. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a great day, everyone. It's me, Varsha.
And Mega.
Signing off.